Welcome back to Building Better Reading Skills for IELTS. I am super excited for today's deep dive. We're going to focus on a passage about social media and friendship. It's something that we hear so much about, but we don't often really analyze.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, how has social media really changed our relationships? It's a big question.
Exactly. And what better way to explore it than through the lens of IELTS reading practice?
Love it. So, are we ready to jump into the passage?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll start us off. There have been a lot of scientific studies into what makes a friendship.
Scientific studies. That just means researchers, scientists are trying to figure out what makes friendships tick, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, next sentence. It seems today that ideas of what friendship is are also changing.
Interesting. Like, what even is a friend in the age of Instagram and TikTok? It's not as simple as it used to be.
Right. Okay, here's a specific example. A study in 1993 at the University of Oxford showed that people could only maintain 150 relationships.
150. That's a lot of relationships. But remember, this is before the days of social media, so that number probably felt huge back then.
Yeah. Okay, here's how things have shifted. However, with the explosion of social media since then, many people now have over 300 people who they think of as friends.
Wow, double the number. So, are all those Facebook friends really friends? That's the question, isn't it?
Exactly. Let's see what the passage says. Some people think that these friends are not real friends, but others believe that social media has helped us to expand and keep our friendships because we have more time and opportunities.
Okay, so there are two sides to the coin here. Some folks are skeptical about online friendships, while others see social media as a way to actually stay connected better. Makes you think, huh?
Totally. All right, on to paragraph 2. Another change from the past is that people don't stay in the place where they were born.
Right, this is about how we move around a lot more than people used to.
Exactly. And the passage tells us why. They go to different cities and countries for education and jobs.
Yep. Jobs and school take people all over the place.
Okay, here's a term for that. People are, in general, more geographically mobile nowadays.
Geographically mobile. It basically means people are always on the move.
Okay, so what does that mean for friendships?
Hmm.
This means that we have more chances to meet and make friends with people from different cultures and different backgrounds.
That's interesting. So our circles are wider, more diverse. We're exposed to more types of people.
Right. But listen to this. People still often make friends at college who remain friends for life, but making new friends at work is more difficult.
College friendships versus work friendships. I guess in college you're all in it together, learning and growing, whereas work can be more competitive sometimes.
Maybe. And here's another factor. People now have less security at work, and this also means that they find it harder to build new relationships.
Yeah, job insecurity. If you're worried about losing your job, you're probably not focusing on making close friends with your coworkers. Too stressful.
Right. Totally understandable. Okay, paragraph 3. I'm ready. What about you?
Hit me.
Here we go. As people get older, they sometimes also have less free time.
Ah, the time crunch. Happens to the best of us.
I know, right? They become busier with their jobs and families and have less time to spend with friends.
More responsibilities, less time for fun. Classic adulting.
Sadly, yes. Okay, here's a key point. Friendships can be very different when we are at different ages.
Totally. Like your BFF in high school might not be your BFF at 30. Life changes, priorities shift.
True that. Okay, how about kids' friendships? Young children often choose their friends because of convenience. For example, they go to the same school, they live near each other, or their parents are friends.
Ah, the convenience factor. Makes sense. Little kids aren't thinking about deep philosophical connections. They just want to play.
Exactly. As we get older, friendships are more connected with having similar interests and opinions.
So we start looking for people who share our passions, values, that kind of thing. Friendships become more intentional, right?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, ready for the last paragraph.
Let's hear it.
One thing is definitely true, though. It doesn't matter how old we are or how many friends we have on social media. Friendship is good for our health.
I love that. Friendship is essential no matter what.
And here's why. People who spend time with friends have fewer mental health problems and are generally happier and in a better physical state of health than people who spend their free time alone.
So friends make us happier, healthier, both mentally and physically. That's amazing.
I know. Powerful stuff.
Are you serious? Wow, we just flew through that passage.
We did. I feel like we broke it down really well, sentence by sentence.
For sure. Do you think our listeners are ready to tackle some IELTS-style questions now?
I think so. Let's do it.
All right, are you ready for some IELTS-style questions based on what we just read?
Oh, yeah. Hit me.
Okay, question number 1. What has enabled people to have more friends than in the past, according to some people? Remember, we got to keep our answers to 3 words or less, just like the real deal.
Okay, 3 words or less. I think this is about social media, right?
Exactly. Social media. The passage was clear that the increase in our number of friends is directly linked to those online platforms.
Makes sense. Okay, what's question number 2?
All right. What phrase does the writer use to describe people who don't stay in the same place? Think about all that moving around we talked about.
Oh, right. I think it was geographically mobile.
You got it. Geographically mobile. It just means people move around a lot, you know?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
What's Hunisa?
Question 3. What work-related problem do people have that makes them less likely to form friendships? This one's about work.
Ooh, okay. I remember it said something about how, like, if you're not sure about your job, you're less likely to make friends at work. So is it job insecurity?
Spot on. Job insecurity. If your job feels unstable, it's harder to invest in those relationships.
Yeah, totally. Okay, 2 more questions, right?
Yep, here's question 4. What frequently influences the friendships of young children? Think back to that paragraph about kids.
Oh, this is easy. Convenience, right? It's
Yeah.
all about who's nearby for them to play with. Absolutely. Convenience. It plays a big role in those early friendships. All right, ready for the final question?
Yes, give it to me.
Last one. What are people with friends less likely to suffer from? This one's about the benefits of friendship.
Okay, let me see. The passage talked about how friendship is good for our health, especially mental health. So, is the answer mental health problems?
You nailed it. Mental health problems. People with strong friendships tend to have better mental well-being.
Phew. I'm glad we got through those questions. I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of this IELTS stuff.
You did amazing. You really pulled out those key details from the passage.
Thanks. I'm ready for whatever's next. All right, let's shift gears a bit and do a quick vocabulary recap. Some of those words and phrases from the passage about social media and friendship.
Yeah, good idea. Understanding the vocabulary can really make or break your IELTS reading score, right?
Absolutely. So let's start with scientific studies. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it just means that scientists are conducting research. They're using a systematic approach to understand something. In this case, friendships. Looking at data, evidence, all that good stuff.
Okay, makes sense. Next up, friendship. Seems pretty straightforward, but how is it defined within the context of this passage?
Yeah, friendship in this passage refers to that bond between people. It's about emotional connection, mutual support, sharing experiences, that kind of thing.
Right. Okay, how about changing ideas of friendship? What's the significance of that phrase?
Well, it suggests that our understanding of what it means to be a friend, what we look for in friendships,
Okay.
it's evolving, maybe because of social media or how much we move around these days. It's
Yeah.
not so static anymore.
Interesting. Okay, on to a big one. Social media. I think we all know what that is, but just to be sure.
Yeah, social media basically refers to all those online platforms where we connect, communicate, share stuff, Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9 yards.
Right, got it. Now let's talk about real friends. What makes a friend real, according to the passage?
It's about that depth of connection, I think. Real friends offer genuine support. There's trust. It goes beyond those surface level interactions.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, on to a term we heard a few times. Geographically mobile.
Geographically mobile just describes people who move around a lot, for work, school, whatever. They're not tied to one place.
Okay, I get it. What about cultural backgrounds? How does that fit into the passage?
Well, cultural backgrounds refer to those shared traditions, customs, values that different groups of people have. And because we're moving around more, we're encountering folks from different backgrounds, which can lead to more diverse friendships.
Right. Okay, on to some simpler terms. College friendships and work friendships.
Yeah, pretty self-explanatory, right? College friendships are those formed, well, in college, and work friendships develop between colleagues.
Exactly. What about job insecurity? I remember that being a key point in the passage.
Right. Job insecurity is that feeling of uncertainty about your job, worrying about getting laid off or fired. And when people feel insecure about their jobs, they're less likely to build strong friendships at work.
Makes sense. Okay, what about free time? Something I wish I had more of.
Me too. But yeah, free time is that time we have outside of work, family, all those obligations, time for hobbies, socializing, or just chilling out.
Ah, yes, chilling out. Okay, convenience friendships. I think we've all had those at some point.
For sure. Convenience friendships happen because of proximity. Like kids who go to the same school become friends because they see each other all the time. It's just convenient.
Right. Okay, how about similar interests and opinions?
Yeah, this one's about those shared hobbies, beliefs, values, those things that can bring people together. It's often the basis for strong, lasting friendships.
Okay, now let's get into some terms related to well-being. First up, mental health problems.
Mental health problems refer to those psychological issues that people face, anxiety, depression, things like that. And the passage highlighted how friendships can actually protect against those problems.
Yeah, friends are good for us in so many ways. Speaking of which, here's another term, better physical state of health.
That just means, well, being in good physical shape. And it's not just about exercise and diet, but also social connection.
Right, it's all connected.
Right.
Okay, just a couple more. What about social media friendships?
Social media friendships are those relationships that mainly exist online, through those platforms we talked about. The passage explores whether they're as meaningful as face-to-face friendships.
Interesting. And last but not least, happiness. Such a great word.
I know, right? Happiness here refers to that feeling of joy, contentment, overall well-being. And the passage pointed out that having friends makes us happier.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. A rundown of some key vocabulary from our passage about social media and friendship. We hope this helps you feel more confident in tackling those IELTS reading sections.
Totally. Remember, vocabulary is key to understanding anything you read, not just for IELTS.
Great point. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into social media and friendship. We hope you found it helpful and insightful. Keep practicing those reading skills, and you'll be well on your way to IELTS success.